Anyway, next we have sports. So speaking of sports, Nike is embroiled in some sort of controversy to not to their fault to begin with. I don't know if you've heard of the Satan shoes. Uh, this was made not from Nike, but a company. The name is Mischief. Yes, used the an existing products line from Nike and created their own twist, which created controversy and hype, which you know generated thousands of dollars, which what could hope for in creating a marketing strategy like this. But let's take a closer look here. So Nike has filed a lawsuit against the said company for using the controversial Satan shoes as mentioned, because obviously when you see the big swoosh in the logo, and people would assume that the shoes is associated with the company that produced it, to which in fact Nike has got nothing to do with it in the first place. So they filed a lawsuit and they won actually regarding infringement of their copyright. So obviously, you can create your own shoes, your own brand, but obviously Mischief for the company would not have the same success if they were to just create their own brand or use a different brand altogether. Now, what does this Satan shoes looks like? So let's see here. Where you go? There you go. So what does the Satan shoes looks like? So it uses an existing Nike shoes. What did they call it? Yeah, it's a Nike Air Max 97, which is nothing too spectacular about it. But here's the a twist here that they included. So they included a drop of blood inside the shoe. That's why they're calling it a Satan shoes to begin with. Actually, they already introduced an earlier version, which is they call it the Jesus shoes, which had less controversy. But obviously, when Nike found out about this, obviously filed copyright infringement here. So the company, as mentioned, Mischief, launched the sneakers, as mentioned, in collaboration with a known rapper Lil X or Lil Nas X, to promote the product and sell hundreds of pairs. I think, yeah, they were supposed to sell 666 pairs, and obviously jack up the price in terms of its unique composition, so to speak. And obviously featuring the trademark of the swoosh symbols led consumers to think that this was created by Nike, which I think Mischief knew and tried to capitalize on it. And obviously, whether Nike sued them or not, they've already done the damage in a sense, creating mass appeal, or creating such hype that obviously when Nike won, so obviously the company Mischief cannot sell it anymore, puts a premium on those limited shoes. And if you know anything about limited products, if people are fascinated on your product, they will pay an exorbitant price, whether it's shoes, trading cards, uh, gaming consoles, or any product that you see, even sports car, right? So as long as there's limited in quantities, people will always pay for a premium for that one. And that's what happened here. So once the lawsuit was won by Nike, the company had to halt fulfillment of future orders. Now they've already shipped 600 pairs, so meaning there's only 66 pairs that wasn't sold. So meaning those 600 pairs that was sold, could, how much are they selling right now? So could even, be sold even at a higher price, similar to how, with the shortage of the GPUs in the past, even the PlayStation console limited supply could, drive up the prices for the limited product availability here. And obviously, the hype is the key here. And according to Davon Ford, a veteran sneaker collection reseller, obviously controversy surrounding any product, or in this case the sneakers, will help fuel the desirability and on the resale market, which is it's a win-win scenario for Mischief, regardless if Nike were to stop them or not. And the fact that they're taking advantage of the company's notoriety, not necessarily notoriety, but brand recognition, is I think the point that Mischief is trying to do here. And obviously, according to to Dave one, as mentioned, every collector, reseller, sneakerhead's dream is to get a shoe, for the lack of a better term, that is banned. Actually, a good example is the Jordan limited edition, right? I won't say limited edition because they keep on releasing it year after year, but again, people still buy even at a very expensive rate, making Michael Jordan a very rich person, right? And going back to the Satan shoes, so it's currently priced at a little over $1,000. So, it's pretty expensive to begin with. So with this hype, with this all of this controversy, it has already had a listing price of almost $7,000. I don't know why would people pay for that, but if the market demands it, so be it. But would you buy this exorbitant price? And I'm assuming they're not going to wear it; they're going to store it. It's just like with any collection, because if you use it, it lessens the value in a sense. Anyway, uh, based on the design here, so you can let's take a closer look here. Yes, there you go. So you can clearly see here the design and the subject matter made uh, based on the sneakers controversy. Uh, the Nike company obviously had no recourse but to sue the company, because you know Nike has been very careful in terms of whom they associate, whether what type of political stance or personal preferences, because they need to cater to a wider market to sell a lot of sneaker shoes, right? And in this case, what do you call this, portraying that the shoes is somewhat on a religious concept, or any religious affiliation would undermine their objective here. So obviously this is difficult for Nike, but for Mischief, they achieved their objective here, and you know uh, would be considered a success here. And as mentioned, according to Mischief, they sent a message and stating that they strongly believe in the freedom of expression, and nothing is more important than our ability and ability of other artists like us to continue our work over the coming years. Now, I think there's no problem with that, but as long as you don't drag other companies' brand into the fold, because if you create your own, which I highly likely doubt that they will be able to reach this success without the Nike brand here, which goes back to the point that Nike has the right to stop them. And what's interesting here that controversy is part of Mischief's strategy. So obviously to be able to sell products, not just shoes or sneakers, you have t-shirts in other instances as well. And obviously pushback can only improve the stance of the Mischief brand in general here. And as mentioned here, the pushback from brands, as mentioned, just only creates more symbolism for the symbol that they're trying to create. And it's also stated that it adds another dimension of meaning behind it. Now, whether it's they're going to continue using the brand or use other brands, we'll wait and see. But it's interesting that a company's benefit is using another's detriment here.